evening. Good evening, Boston. I always wanted to say that.
Well, we're making dreams come true here tonight. So if my math is correct, while the show was airing, the pair of you did precisely one panel together. And in the 9 years since the show ended, you had one virtual appearance together, Nerdist Hannibal Reunion. Now you've had 3 panels together in 3 months. I think we're all very curious
overpowering.
to know. How did this Hannibal Reunion tour come about? And how do you feel about the fan reaction to it?
Oh, well, it's great to see all the flower crowns, and apparently also now on stage.
That's right, we're invading.
So we're expecting some different kind of answers or questions, maybe. No, it's fantastic that it's been 10 years since we started, or 11 years, and it's still with you guys and with us. It's rarely a situation you do as an actor to have a certain film that will always chase you, but this show, for some reason, for a lot of good reasons, I understand, it's still around us, and we appreciate you guys being so solid fans.
One moment I want to return to is in Digestivo. After Hannibal saves Will from Mason, we see him working on time travel equations by Will's bedside. Maz, if Hannibal cracked the code and could reverse time at that moment, what point do you think he would have gone back to, and what would he have changed?
I'm not sure that I, or Hannibal for that matter, is a big fan of changing history, because we do know that a small change here will be a gigantic change down the path, right? But I had this question quite a few times when I did the Indiana Jones film. Mm-hmm. Am I on?
You're on.
Normally I get a laugh there. When I say Indiana Jones, no. Yeah, where would I go back? And I was thinking about it a lot. And I wanted to go back and meet the PR people of Genghis Khan.
Amazing.
Because one of the most ruthless bastards in history. But somehow, I don't know what they did, these PR people, but they succeeded in this generation of people finds him super fascinating and cool, you know.
Well, most of them are related to him.
That's true. Quite a few of them, yeah. But there's something fascinating about that. We look back on a man and a part of history as one of the coolest part of history. And then we realize, oh yeah, but he also did a lot of rape and killing. That's true, yeah. So yeah, go back and meet Genghis Khan and see how he pulled it off. That would be fun.
Amazing. So you don't think Hannibal was trying to change any time when he was working on his time travel equations? He was just...
No, I think he was just curious. No, I mean, yeah, he does like to play God in a sense, but even for him, I think that would be a little too much.
Okay, fair enough. And Hugh, what about Will? If in the final moments of the series he somehow unlocked the secrets of time travel, do you think he would turn back time?
Rather than fall off a cliff?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Where would he go?
Where would he go?
Good point.
I mean, pretty much anywhere, you know. But I think he, I think, like Maz, I don't think he's interested in that as a concept.
Mm-hmm. So Hugh, 7 years ago now, at a convention in London, you shared that Will didn't associate the idea of love with Hannibal until Bedelia brought it up to him. And you told me that while Will came to know Hannibal was in love with him, Will was not himself driven by being in love with Hannibal during the season 3 finale. Do you still find that to be true?
Yes, I do.
So given that Brian has said that the series is on a trajectory of continuing to explore Hannibal and Will's love story and intimacy, should there be a season 4, what do you think it would take for Will to fall in love with Hannibal?
7 seasons? I don't know.
What is wrong with you?
I don't think that's the conscious thought process going on.
Mm-hmm. But unconsciously.
I think Will's coming to terms with something within himself primarily, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Maz, when do you think Hannibal stopped seeing Will as a fascinating experiment and started seeing him as a fascinating experiment and also a life partner?
I can't imagine Hannibal ever using the phrase life partner.
How would he describe it?
It depends on how long that life is, right? I know that we're not here to disappoint any of you guys, but it's not the first thing that is or the most important thing in their relationship. There's a mutual fascination, and they see each other for who they are. And yes, we can equate that to love or platonic love or anything, but primarily they are cat and mouse, and they keep changing who's the cat and who's the mouse, and that's the fascination they have of each other as well.
Cool.
And a little in love. Okay.
A little embrace at the top of the cliff, gazing into each other's eyes. So if Will and Hannibal had to choose a last meal, what would it be?
Whoa. I guess you're meaning together, right?
Or separately. I mean, if Will is that last meal, that's acceptable.
I didn't. What was that?
If you were the last meal.
I mean, I think that's entirely plausible.
All right.
Yeah, it's got to be something with kidney, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Some kind of offal.
Yeah, it's vanilla kidney from Korea. Korean style barbecue. Yeah.
Okay.
Could be.
Delicious. Will, I mean you.
Honest truth, I don't think Will cares very much.
He doesn't care. That's a mistake.
Been cooking for 3 years for you. Have you been lying to me all these? You're always like delicious.
Fantastic.
You didn't give a shit. You just wanted Burger King.
If you had to eat a painting, which
a painting?
Yeah, like Dollarhide before you. Which painting would you choose to consume?
Like a very, very small one.
One made out of gummy worms.
If Mona Lisa was rude, I would probably pick that one. Also because it's such a historical thing, and I think Hannibal really appreciate that people would talk about him again and again as the man who ate Mona Lisa.
Season 4.
That's his vanity right there. Yeah.
Maz, while on the run together, which of Will's habits might come to grate on Hannibal, and vice versa?
Say that again. Okay.
Oh, which of Will's habits might come to grate on Hannibal if they were on the run together?
Come in handy or what?
Oh,
Start to annoy him.
Annoy him, yeah. 1,000 dogs trailing him. It's like the easiest way to spot us. Will, can you get rid of at least one of them or two of them? That would be annoying, wouldn't it?
And no vice versa?
He's so fussy. Like, the cutlery is not straight.
Would Will turn the cutlery at just a little angle just to get under his skin?
No?
No.
I don't think he would care. But I think he would notice the,
Yes. So what is the first thing you think Will and Hannibal would do in Cuba?
Are we in Cuba now?
Yes, that's their season 4.
We're in Cuba.
And will take place, according to Brian.
What are we doing in Cuba?
Would he rum? I mean...
Yeah, cigars and stuff, but I mean, wow. They probably would dig out the Fidel and have a dinner. I'm sure that Hannibal would love to have that on his bucket list. Mona Lisa, Fidel, Hemingway, let's do them all.
Pushing it all tonight. Great, so I think we can turn to fan questions in a moment.
Well, let's get to some obscure questions.
But before we do, Hannibal has a habit of changing the lives of people who watch it, whether in small ways, like being able to better identify what good TV is, or in major ways, like bringing them community and friendship. How would you say Hannibal changed your lives?
I don't think, it's hard to say that. I mean, there's not one part or one film that changes your life, but it has an impact on your life, right? Yeah. And obviously, we've now known each other for, we worked years ago, my first film over there. And then we reunited on Hannibal and become really good friends. And a lot of the other people from the show, we're still in touch with them. And it's a rare opportunity for an actor to work on something for 3 years. Obviously, you can do it in TV, but something that keeps developing as crazy as this one did. So it was always a challenge to be on that show, and it's a very, very rare opportunity for an actor. So it's something that will always be with us. But whether it changed or not changed our lives, this will be remained unanswered.
Beautiful.
Completely agree. But it's just an indelible part of our lives now.
Absolutely. Okay, I think you can line up for questions. There's a mic over here.
I have a question specifically for Hugh. In Mizumono, it's such a complicated episode. What was your process as an actor, specifically during the moment where he says you were supposed to leave? What was your process as an actor of developing Hugh's, or not Hugh, Will's thought process and your own when you read that line?
We had talked about it. I mean, not so much between ourselves, but I had talked about it with Brian, and I know Maz had as well. Like the trajectory of that season, and that, not that specific moment, but everything surrounding it. But ultimately, you know, Brian sat in his apartment way up over Toronto, probably writing it at 4 in the morning, and it arrived, and I think I just wanted to show up and do it, and it sounds like it's a disappointing answer, but
no, it makes sense.
It's not really something you can necessarily prep for. You know, there was you just try and be responsive, and there's a lot in there. I mean, it's very brutal and it's very ugly and it's very upsetting, but there's also a lot. You have to kind of suspend your disbelief quite a lot. There's a dance that they're doing, so it was just a matter of playing it out and seeing what happened.
Cool, thank you.
It's no secret. It's very obvious you guys have been aging finer than wine.
Wow.
What's your secret?
Ironically, wine.
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 And the occasional beer.
Just one.
This doesn't necessarily have to be Hannibal related, but do you ever get nervous when you're doing a job? And if you do, what is your way to overcome that and to trust your intuition that you're doing, like you're on the right track?
Good question. I always, at the beginning of any job, there's a sense that you haven't, even if you love the script, you understand what you want to do at the very beginning. For me, there's a feeling of you haven't put down enough to have your sense of context yet, so it can feel a little unmoored. It just takes a few days, and it took me a long time to realize that it was always going to feel like that for me. And maybe if it ever stopped feeling like that, that would be a problem, even though it's not a lovely feeling. So now I think I'm probably a bit better at riding through that and knowing that it will ease off.
Yeah, I mean, to be nervous is fine to a certain level. Obviously, when it becomes completely strangling you, this is the place where nobody wants to be. And I think we've all been in that strangling situation. And I have no really super good advice for that. Everybody tackles it their own way and figure out how to get around it, or maybe just go into it or whatever. But it does happen once in a while. I remember, for instance, in Hannibal, I had an Italian poem I had to do all of a sudden. Of course, something Brian came up with a couple of days before. Like,
and play the harpsichord.
And at the same time, and be super charming in front of 200 people, right? And you get a little nervous in that situation because quite a few of those people in the room were Italians. But I mean, it's diving there, work as hard as you can, be as prepared as you can. So that will take some of the nerves off. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi there, my name's Danny. I think that music is very powerful, and obviously the soundtrack to the show is absolutely phenomenal. I was wondering what both of your top albums are right now, and what do you think that Will and Hannibal are listening to?
I mean, Cuban music.
Are they
I don't think we
dancing?
have to imagine what Hannibal is listening to is in the film constantly, right? Like the show.
Yeah.
I don't have. I'm not big on the music scene. I don't go out and buy albums in the sense. I have a tendency to fall back to the '60s and '70s and listen to all that boomer shit. It's Pink Floyd. It's Doors. It's soul music for me. Yep.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I think that's all the time we have today. Hugh, the Fanibals,
Thanks, guys.
really wanted to wish you a
Thank you,
happy
guys.
birthday.
Oh,
next
thank you.
week.
Yeah.
But thank you, everyone. Thank you to the Fanibals.